Hello YouTube, I have another nonfiction read for you today because I've been doing a lot of that lately, and I'm trying to both catch up some of the reviews that I read with Buddy Reads at the end of last year, but also some of the books I've read since the start of the new year or listened to, because there have been a lot of audiobooks. And this is another one that I listened to on audiobook, and that is Rabid, A Cultural History of the World's Most Diabolical Virus. And as it says in the title, I really thought this would be a non-fiction account of the rabies vaccination series and the science, and like, oh, I thought I had it discovered and then I didn't, but it wasn't, and it was so much more than that. So this novel starts off with the instances that could have been attributed to rabies or rabies-like symptoms throughout history, and it's sort of a snap of culture and sociology throughout time as it relates to humans' interaction with a life-threatening virus. So most of the books that I've read in this sort of same vein, which I've read a lot about, is really more about the discovery aspect and less about the people. I don't know what that says about me, but I really enjoyed this. And it also talks a lot about our relationships with dogs and how treatments came about too. So that was another thing that I found really intriguing, was medicine through time. So how people used to treat rabies and the disconnect between bite and symptoms. It also talks about the Pasteur Institute, and yeah, it's a treasure trove of science and sociology, and I loved it. The audiobook was really well narrated. I liked the flow too, so the movement through time and then back in time always made sense, so I didn't feel like I was jumping back and forth in a nonsensical way, which I get a lot when I talk about books from the sociology or cultural perspective. It's more of a contrast effect that they try to do, so they jump back and forth in time, but sometimes it's more just to jump back and forth in time. For example, I started and then didn't finish a commodity nonfiction called Salt, which was supposed to be about salt's impact on human development and basically the advancement of technology in the industrial age and exploration due to salt. And it sounds awesome, but it was just tons of facts back and forth through time, and it didn't really have a cohesive thread throughout it. Like, obviously it was facts about salt, but unless you want 101 facts about salt just like chatted at you, then it wasn't done the same way that this novel was. And I found this one really enjoyable. So it went by really quickly, and I actually wish there were more books like this, but I can't find any that were from the recommendation list that have hit the mark so well as this one did. And if you're interested in not just the science, because they do touch on that, but the way that they demonstrate the science is from the human aspect. And that was also something that I found really unique to this novel, and I think I gave it 5 stars, which I do not do very often for this kind of book, because I think it's either way not sciencey enough, or it's way too focused, or it's nonsensical in the way that it jumps around, and this book had none of those things, and I loved it. So I hope that you pick it up, and if you have any recommendations along the same line, I think I'm going to try Emperor of All Maladies next, because I think this is a similar book, like style, but I'm also really interested in commodity nonfiction, so like Salt or sugar or something like that. And I know that these exist because I've seen them on Goodreads, but I've been epically let down 1.5 times so far, and would like just recommendations because that would make my life easier. Anyway, I hope that you picked this up and that you enjoyed this. I hope that it was also a helpful review and not just me talking about how much I love it. But if you're interested in human history and another thing that this one really touched on was how people lived and how it's different from how we live, and transportation was also a big point, and all of those things sort of combined and culminated in this like perfect storm of what I wanted to read, and presented in a style that I really enjoy, and I hope you will too. I will talk to you soon. Bye!